Hi, I'm Jess, and this is my presentation on mnemonics. For this project, I used the article Assessing Effectiveness of Mnemonics for Tertiary Students in a Hybrid Introductory Statistics course. This was written by Lawrence Lesser, Amy Wagler, and Wendy Francis. So what are mnemonics? In general, a mnemonic is a memory technique that helps individuals remember important topics based on associated acronyms, phrases, tunes, sentences, or other methods. The goal of mnemonic devices include allowing students to retrieve learned information more easily, all while taking up less space in the brain. As you can see, some of the examples of mnemonics include PEMDAS, remembering how many days are in a month on your knuckles, and every good boy deserves fudge. There are also different types of mnemonics based on the information that you're trying to memorize. There are acronyms such as Roy G. Biv, sentences which include superheroes must eat oats, and even songs which include the alphabet. In this article, there was a study conducted based on mnemonics and how helpful they were to students. Prior to this study, there was little information on statistic mnemonics. There were also some limitations as far as the mnemonics that were known. The limitations include findings that students were better at remembering and elaborating on steps of the scientific method if their instructor discussed the mnemonic acronym HOMER more frequently as a structure for the entire class, rather than just when transitioning from one step of the scientific method to the next. The basis of this study revolved around 3 questions. 1. Do students use mnemonics and find them helpful in introductory statistics? 2. Is there an association between students' self-reported usage of mnemonics and self-reporting reduction of anxiety from test-taking or learning statistics? And 3. Is there a difference in the self-reported and measured learning objectives as measured by exam questions among those with high versus low self-reported use of mnemonics? So this study was conducted over 2 fall semesters. Class lectures were recorded as well as conducted in person. Students could choose whether to listen on their own or attend the lecture. The students were also required to meet with a teacher's assistant once per week to complete an activity. The first semester, the teacher's assistants didn't know much about the mnemonics, so they weren't encouraged to teach them. In the second semester, the teacher assistants were instructed to use the mnemonic Phantom to discuss the properties of the significance test. This was a blended course, so the impact of the teacher's assistant's influence would be minimal. The students were given extra credit surveys at the end of the semester based on their views of mnemonics. These surveys were anonymous and conducted all online with no time limit. A benefit of the untimed online survey is that students were able to give more thoughtful or complete answers to certain questions. For example, in response to the question asking students for any new mnemonics they may have thought of, one student responded by giving the actual URL for a YouTube video, a piece of information that would not have been available if the survey had been on pencil and paper without technology. The students were also asked to complete an informed consent form as part of the survey as to allow their data to be published, all anonymously. The findings of the survey were fantastic. It found that 80% of students actually use one mnemonic per exam. 43.8% of students stated that test anxiety was reduced because of using mnemonics. And 93.2% of students who use mnemonics got the answer correct. Students were more likely to remember the mnemonics because they were brief, they were connected to the content, they rhymed, they involved humor, visual representations, and if they were strange or bizarre. Mnemonics can benefit anybody because we can all make up things to help us remember. Things we're taught in school include I before E except after C, the 50 State song. My personal geography teacher told me that latitude is flatitude. Principal, as in the person at the school, ends in pal because they're your friend. And I was always told that dessert has 2 S's because you want 2 helpings. So that's how you know dessert versus desert. And just to show diversity of mnemonics and how they really do work for everybody, the top is something that I came up with to help me remember the body systems, but nobody else would really get anything out of that. So mnemonics are extremely diverse, and anybody can use them to make anything that would help them. Overall, mnemonics are a great tool that can really work for any student based on their needs or class information. You can share your favorites in hope of helping somebody else. Thanks for